Sorry.
No, you can stay. At 6:30, I can go. But,
To answer your question tonight.
really, I got a question. Well, this is going to be my fifth question then. Really, can I use your t-shirt, yellow, to go running? I use that, or the bright yellow. I run it, lead up. And I,
That's okay. I see you in the dark.
Fabio. Yeah. Gotta have that MC voice, which I don't have. Have to think it. Well, that's different. I'm talking. Radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Āliamanu-Salt Lake Foster Village Airport Neighborhood Board 18. Thank you for coming out this evening. Let's start with the roll call members. Secretary Connie Morrow, can you please do that?
Yes, thank you, Chair. First off, Douglas Fujikura. Here. Okay. Larry Baird, absent. Kavika James Gower. Lorene Godfrey. Nicole Hine. Joseph Omura. Thank you. Patty Igawa, absent. And David Yomes.
Here.
So we have 5, which does make a quorum. So we do have a quorum established. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, we do have a quorum. We have no chair announcements at this time. Let's start with the Honolulu Fire Department.
Board, Captain Sheedy, Honolulu Fire Station. Here to present the statistics for September for you folks and give you a safety tip. Let's see. So for the month of September, there were 0 structure fires, 1 wildland brush fire, 2 nuisance fires, no cooking fires. There were 8 activated alarms. As far as emergencies go, there were 45 medical alarms during that time. We had 2 motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians. We had 1 motor vehicle crash and collision. 0 mountain rescues, 0 ocean rescues. 1 hazardous materials incident. Now for the safety tip for the month. I want to encourage everybody to have working smoke alarms. Install a smoke alarm in every bedroom outside of each separate sleeping area and hallways on each level of any. Please test smoke alarms at least once a month by pushing the test button. Replace all smoke alarms when they are 10 years old, not responding when tested. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try.
Board, any questions for the fire department? Stormwater.
Yeah, our last meeting was in August, so when you folks gave me a report, I had asked for something in July. There were like 2 accidents as well, pedestrian hits. I had asked if any of where were they at, the locations of where they were at. So I'm still waiting on that. And also last month, did you guys have that? I was told by my neighbor there was a hit with ambulance, fire truck there, everything on September 15th. Is that one of the two that added into?
I would assume so, yes. If there was a person involved, that would be one of the two.
Yeah. Okay. The, the reason for my concern is that that sidewalk, we board a unified board here. We consider that the most dangerous crosswalk in the state of Hawaii because of the person that got killed and people that are getting hit there continuously. So we just wanted to make sure we get a record of like who got hit on that sidewalk. I don't there was any other person, like one of the two that you're reporting. Well, actually, the one I'm waiting for was the July one. See if anybody got hit from our sidewalk again.
Great questions. I'd like to encourage everybody that's on the board that has any questions that I may not be able to answer tonight, please contact our community relations office. They can get you more detailed information, questions you may have about specifics. We can't really give too much name information to the HIPAA, but thank you for that question. I don't have that with me, but I can try to email the board.
Audience, any questions for the fire department? You on that new show on Monday nights with the lifeguard show?
No, sir, I wasn't.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Honolulu Police Department proceeding. This officer was on Hawaii 5-0 a few years back.
Was on one. Well, good evening. Lieutenant Keone Hong representing District 3, Pearl City. Gonna read off the stats for September compared to August. Motor vehicle thefts, there were 3 compared to 4. Burglaries, 1 compared to 6. Thefts, there were 6 compared to 4. And car break-ins, there were 5 compared to 1 in August. Total cost for service for this area in September was 267 compared to 336. I kind of looked into the car break-ins. They were smashed windows, mostly targeting either tools that could be visible from the outside or backpacks. Safety tip of the month, Halloween safety. Make sure children are visible and have costumes or masks that fit well to avoid blocked vision and trip hazards. Also carefully check treats for theft. One kind of case of notoriety that occurred in the month of September was an attempted murder degree that happened on September 19th, around 2100 hours in the residential area near Stadium Mall. Synopsis is that 38-year-old male, 17-year-old son, and 21-year-old friend were shot at during a drive-by. Appears to have stemmed from a love triangle. What happened is the car initially drove by, brandished a firearm. Then boys who were outside called their dad, who retrieved his own firearm, went outside to bring the boys inside the house. The car then drove by again and started shooting in the direction of the people. Dad returned fire. Fortunately, no one was injured. But attempted murder in the first degree case was made, in which on October 1st, 2 males were involved in the drive-by, arrested, one 19-year-old male and one 17. Those males, I believe, were charged, and there was $7 million. For dad, just to close out the story, he was reckless endangering second. It's a misdemeanor case was generated against him. However, he was not arrested, and the case was forwarded to the prosecutors. Any questions I could answer them?
Board, any questions for the police department, Mr. Moore?
I have a question. I've noticed an uptick in gun violence within the last couple months. And all of them are, or a lot of them are like guys 30 years, something years and younger. And my question that, and I'm sure, and we have a lot of associates that live with me around my area. We're wondering, how do these kids get guns? Because we're supposed to be one of the strictest states in the, and yet it seems like everyone that all these gun violence stuff that's been happening has all been with guys without licenses or anything like that. So how the heck can they get a gun?
There's multiple ways, but we do find those things called ghost guns, which is the 3D printed guns. You can print out a certain amount of the gun, and then you can ship it all over the world. So sometimes you get it from China or whatnot, and then you put it together with other pieces that you can buy legally, but they don't. You're supposed to take it in to get registered and whatnot, but of course they skip that procedure. In this case, I believe all of the people involved were transplants and military, so they weren't local residents. But I'm not sure about. I don't know if they recovered that gun that the suspects used. We did recover a victim's gun for evidence, which was registered, and I believe he did have concealed carry.
Audience, any questions for the police department? Thank you, Lieutenant, for those updates. Appreciate it. Lee, police.
Hey everyone, I'm Lieutenant Cristian Atico with the police station on let me give you the stats for the month of September. No aggravated assaults, 3 auto thefts, no burglaries, no sex assaults, robberies. There was 1 simple assault, 5 basic thefts, 6 thefts from neighbors. Tip of the month. If you went to the police website lately, you might have noticed that they removed the link to the pineapple.com. It's merely a matter of they're trying to promote what they're calling the new data database. And you can, I suggest everyone go on and you guys can see, if the information is how you want it. For myself, it doesn't seem as specific as the crime mapping was, but crime mapping is still available. It's just we don't have a link to it on our site. If you go to crimemapping.com, it'll ask you what city, and you just input Honolulu, Hawaii, and it has Honolulu Police. You can select, and then it'll function the same way as when it was linked to the Honolulu PD.com. So you guys can get the specifics about where specific crime was reported from. Any questions or concerns from the
Board, any questions for police? Audience, any questions for the police? Thank you, Lieutenant, for coming on. On the agenda, I have state sheriffs, airport. Trying to get the sheriffs to come to our meetings and tell us about the airport. There's a lot of criminal happenings at the airport. I think the public should know about, as to what enforcement the sheriffs do at the airport. They not only assign to the airport, they assign all the way to the end of Lagoon Drive and some of the surface streets, Aolele and part of Golena Street. So hopefully I put in a couple calls in. I didn't get any response yet. So I'll see if we can get them at our monthly meetings. Moving on our agenda, we have our Neighborhood Board 18 Community Warriors of the Month. We would like to recognize the residents and staff of the Country Club Village condo. With that said, I'm going to have Secretary Connie Maurer read some item.
Thank you, Chair. The Country Club Village Condominium Phase 2, which is located right along the embankments of the Salt Lake Waterway, has continuously advocated the Neighborhood Board 18 for some resolve to address the Honolulu Country Club's obligation to adhere to the city ordinances to properly care for and maintain the sustainability of the Salt Lake Waterway. Their unwavering commitment over the past 15 years has not gone unnoticed. At the beginning of this year, in January 2024, our neighborhood board chair, Yomes, introduced a 5-year plan to the community called Operation Clean Sweep. The goal was simple: to significantly enhance the quality of life in and around the Salt Lake Waterway. It consisted of quarterly community cleanups to remove trash and green waste from the waterway and plan to cleanse the Salt Lake Waterway utilizing a bioremediation effort, namely the Genki balls. Through the guidance of EM Hawaii, LLC, and Hiro Nago, Operation Clean Sweep has facilitated 2 of the 1,000 Genki ball making each event and time water testing in March and July, with our final release to be on November 23rd. So by January 2029, with this 5-year plan, it concludes in 2029, but our aim is not just to improve, but to transform the Salt Lake Waterway into a source of pride for the entire Salt Lake community. No more unpleasant odors, stagnant water, or greenways choking the water flow. Instead, we envision a vibrant, healthy waterway that we can all be proud of, a symbol of our community's resilience and determination. You know, we've had some champions that have helped our Operation Clean Sweep throughout this year. Practically, it's all over, but with our final event will be November 9th. But if I can just call out some names of some very important people that have been our champions. Senator Glenn Wakai, Representative Linda Ichiyama and Micah Ayu, City Council Member Radiant Cordero, and their respective staffs. They joined in this partnership, working for the community on behalf of the city, state, and their constituents. Mayor Rick Blangiardi, he actually assigned the Department of Facilities Maintenance Director, Gene Albano, to assess the waterway and see how the city could help. And so Director Albano immediately assisted our committee and the community in resolving the issues we had with this waterway, and the storm water cleanup division, Kyle Tokuda, has helped with the city also. Our military partners in all service branches, so thank you to Chuck, Anthony, especially the Navy and the Army, showed up and helped with all of the cleanup efforts thus far. And we have a contest, ongoing contest of Army or Navy. But anyway, the Salt Lake community members, especially the Country Club Village residents, the Greenwood condo, and others have helped to chip in. So this grassroots campaign committee and the behind the scenes people who have made these events a total success with their hard work and dedication, especially our Country Club Village General Manager, Doug Fujikura, who's now on our board. We volunteered him that he has to be on the board. And myself as board member, we coordinated these efforts and kept everyone informed. So in 2029, we'll see everyone, hope to see a free flow of clean water where fish, birds, and ducks can roam the waterway without getting sick or dying. And we can take leisurely walks in the recently renamed Howard Shima Likini Street Mini Park and see the beautiful waterway without any obstruction. So this is the vision of our chair, Yomes, the grassroots campaign committee, and the entire community. It's a vision that we can all work on it together. By uniting our efforts, we can make this vision a reality in 2029. So on behalf of the Neighborhood Board 18, I have the greatest pleasure of awarding we are all awarding the October Community Warrior Award to the Country Club Village Phase 2 Condo Association and the management and staff for taking the Operation Clean Sweep project for the Salt Lake community and serving as the driving force of the Salt Lake water cleanup. Thank you.
With that said, I'm going to read the certificate of recognition. The Āliamanu-Salt Lake Village Airport Neighborhood Board number 18 recognizes the residents and staff of the Country Club Village condos for your community volunteerism achievements and contributions regarding the cleanup of the Salt Lake waterway and its surrounding areas. Your dedication and partnership in assisting with the cleansing of the waterway speaks volumes of your commitment in protecting the environment. This board takes great pleasure in presenting you with the Neighborhood Board 18 Warrior of the Month Award certificate for October 2024, signed by Lloyd Yaninaka, Executive Secretary, on today's date, October 10, and David Yomes, the Chair. I would like to present this. Doug, can you come up and the board, let's take a quick photo and start our meeting.
to the side. Either close it or go. Close it off.
Okay, moving on our agenda, community events and concerns. Chandra, you want to give an update on the Salt Lake Waterway cleanup?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, so our Operation Clean Sweep, we're going to have our last final one for this year, 2024, and it's going to be November 9th. So I have a few flyers, if anyone's interested, you can pick it up over there. But it is, again, going to be along the Salt Lake Waterway. And we're asking everyone to just please come by, and you can park in the city parking, the municipal parking there. It's 10 cents for 2 hours. So yeah, not bad rates, right? Can't beat that rate, right? So I was trying for free parking, but the city won't allow me to get free parking. But anyway, it's 10 cents for for the 2 hours. But we're starting at 1. So please park over at the new Howard Shima Bikini Street Mini Park. And that's where you'll park there, and then we'll guide you over to the Country Club Village side, and we'll have refreshments also there, and that's where we'll be making also the Genki balls. So we're making 1,000 Genki balls for our last final throw. The toss itself will be on November 23rd. It's a Saturday again. But yeah, if you can join us, come at 1 o'clock, same place, same procedures, park 10 cents over at the at Likini Park, and come on over, and we'll do the actual tossing. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, everybody wants to be Shohei. Okay, but that's it.
Moving on to the agenda, Halloween events. I only know of one. One will be at Salt Lake Shopping Center, October 26th from 10 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. They'll have Halloween costume contests for the kids and other events. So if you had little ones that want to get into the Halloween spirit, be at Salt Lake Shopping Center. Again, Saturday, October 26th, from 10 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. Any board, you have any other events or concerns you want to bring up, Mr. Omura?
Yes, do have some concerns here. And but the first one is at Tropicana Manor, where I live, right at the corner of Salt Lake Boulevard and Āliamanu-Salt. As you're heading west on Salt Lake Boulevard, and you turn right onto Āliamanu-Salt, the people trying to get out of the apartment are having a very hard time to get out because cars are illegally parked there, and they want that curb painted red. And I said I tried it before, but I'll try it again. They kept bugging me. So I need to write the reasons why, yay or nay, so I can explain to them. I forgot what the real reasons were, so gotta ask it again. The other thing is there was another accident at our sidewalk at between Ala-Ilima and Ala-Lilikoi, that crosswalk, where back in 2019, one of our McDonald's gang, senior citizen lady, got hit and killed. And there's been a whole slew of people that have been getting hit. And we were even on the news, local news, where we we're literally saying that that is the most dangerous crosswalk in the state of Hawaii because, I mean, a lot of places you might get accidents, but not in the consistency that we get in that just one simple crosswalk. And back on September 15th, Sunday at 5 p.m. was another hit that they had to, neighbors told me about it. And the ambulance and the fire truck had to come down, the paramedics, and take care of this person that got hit. So that is my concern. There's something that's got to be done. So far, nothing has been done. And in fact, if something has been done, the complaint we have is they took the seconds off the walk sign, you know, when the light turns green and then it turns a blinking red with the numbers on it. The numbers start from like 20 to 15, then they disappear. And to me, that is really, really dangerous. I don't know why that's happening. That's also happening on the crosswalk on Nimitz Highway to Catlin Park. That is at Arizona Street or Catlin Park. That light there, the one where the elderly lady got hit as well, another place where someone got hit. They came to this board meeting and talked about that as well. That light is, it just blinks. There's no seconds on it. And it's a quick light as well. So if you're an elderly person crossing the street, it could be quite dangerous. And a lot of the older people don't know that they're supposed to press the button so you get the green walk sign. So they'll just walk across the street. And I've seen, I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny, where the car is coming in and the poor old lady or the old man has to do the watusi and the dance and try to dodge the cars. And I see so much of that going on. And so to me, something's got to be done. And so far since 2019, nothing's been done. And we've had our suggestions, but we've been kind of shot down. So we would like some kind of, at least ideas of actions that are going to be done. Because 2019 to 2024 is what, 5 years, yeah? So it's been a while. So anyway, that's it.
Board, any other questions, concerns? Audience, you come up to the microphone, identify yourself. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, board. My name is Romance Swat. I'm a Salt Lake resident, and I'm here with Hawaii Kai JC as a support. I'm here on behalf of the Kehi Lagoon Park. I know there's a section of the park that has a pickleball court, which I host a weekly event of our members and newcomers to come and play on a weekly basis. And also, as we have been playing for the past few months, we've seen the growing popularity of the sport. The crowd gets a little overloaded to the point where there's a certain number of groups on the outside just waiting to utilize the court. But the problem is that as soon as the sun goes down, like except during the summer, which the sun stays longer, the lights on the courts just starts fading away. So it's until the point where some groups, they just leave the court. So one of our requests is that if possible, we want to, there's already infrastructure lights already surrounding the court, but I know they've been broken into by the homeless in the past couple of years. So our simple request is just to have those lights fixed. And also our number 2 simple request is just to extend the lights, particularly maybe around 6 to 7, just to extend the play. I've done some research on what time the lagoon, the timing of the park closes is from 10 o'clock. So that's all we have done so far is that we have petitions, particularly around 350 signatures, a combination of online and also old school, just written petitions. So that's all we hear, just to submit our voices. And
thank you, board, for listening to our requests. I know, well, I'm trying, okay. So part of our concern is that, especially because it's winter time, the sun is going down faster. And so the time in which we can play is getting even shorter. And so the people coming in have less time the people that are waiting in line for hours to utilize the courts are not able to. Um, that's all I wanted to make sure we put in. Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. I did address a number of concerns regarding this matter, the Lagoon pickleball area. And I was going to bring it up to the city representative in our meeting tonight. So if you guys stay, we're going to cover that as well when he comes up in a few minutes. And I thank you so much for coming on and bringing it to my attention. And like I said, I had about 5 different calls from different people regarding this issue. And this board will definitely stay on top of it. I personally feel that the light should stay on to about 9 at night. And since the park closes at 10, so people that's working in the daytime have a chance to play in the evening and exercise. With that said, the gentleman with the racket, can you demonstrate how pickleball works? Don't hit the walls, no. I just playing. Thank you so much.
Are you guys the ones that are next to the Nimitz Highway thing on the top, or you guys are way in the back where the tennis courts used to be? Entrance? Oh, the entrance way into K Lagoon. Right. That's, oh, the variance inside. Oh, that's by the Nimitz thing.
This board will stay on top of this issue. I think it's important for, especially the people that work in the daytime to have their exercise in the evening, and see if we can see if maybe the city can partnership with some kind of business entity in the area, a partnership for the cost as far as having the lights being replaced. I know city went into partnership with some skateboard parks with different businesses. Maybe we can find something for this pickleball court. Sure, microphone. You don't have to sing, just.
So if I can just add, I believe that after speaking to a lot of the different pickleball associations here in Oahu, when we went to the Kehi Lagoon, they did mention to us that they did put in a bid already. They requested for the state to put it in. We're just waiting for it to actually happen. So we're wondering if there's any way to fast track that process. You know, if there's enough persons willing to sign our petition, or what it's going to take from the community side to get this kind of fast tracked.
I know about the petition, and I'm sure the city representative coming up this evening will ask those questions for you. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the city government officials, Mayor Blangiardi's office. So he's the deputy mayor, so he has influence of changing anything within the city.
Record, I am not the deputy mayor. My name is Brian Gallagher. I am. Been a while. See, I just concerns. You're all the
Mr. Moore, you brought it up in an August meeting. Did you check how the traffic is flowing now? I went a few days this week and last week, and traffic is moving fine, especially when they make the detour to the street from Likini Place and pass over, or they have both directions running at the same time. But once you start doing this, stop one end and the other end contra flowing, then we have problems and backups. So far it's been good the last couple of weeks. And the community got to expect during school hours in the morning and the afternoon, you're gonna have a little bit of a delay because everybody's picking up their children and stuff, so that's understandable.
I'm sorry. Were there any other? Like, was there one? Family? Or, I think. How much are allowed to budget they are. So, but yeah. They have a great website for Nate Sirota. They have a PR. They definitely pursue it.
Are you guys willing to give Mr. Gallagher some classes in pickleball? Because if he likes the sport, him and Amir is like this, so he'll get it done.
Okay, so you need a court first.
Brian, I have to put you on the spot.
Yeah, just one other. For the middle street segment. So that's the third. And if it goes beyond that, that's a discussion in set yet. Construction is expected to begin around summer in 2025 and projecting to get a ride from Eva down to Kakaho. Hopefully that goes through hopefully construction along the and service. City has a new facility that addresses homelessness called the Ala Respite. It's at 445 Street. So it's a beautiful building. It's all apart. So staff are helping homeless, but issues range. So so they're it's more of a take people in, try to diagnose it, and find out where they have 32 medical beds there, and they have 30 just tiny homes. Trying to for a while. We're really hoping that can keep going. Specific a lot of people they center limits want center help on the street. So better places. And eventually we're going to try and get to it. Eventually we'll be demo pack. So then yeah, the white key shell. So starting this month, it's going to be closed until so we're going to upgrade the electrical system. So they got to bring in some transformers. Take a while. Yeah, going to upgrade the orchestra area and then create some seating.
More any questions?
March of
Mr. Moore, keep it under 10 minutes.
Start them now. Okay, anyway, yeah, I wanted to bring up the point about that, the curb, painting the curb red. And there, I guess it's right where I live, Tropicana Manor, at the corner of Salt Lake Boulevard and Āliamanu-Salt Street. The resident manager came up to me today and asked me to bring this up He said that people getting out, it's a one-way street in from our part, from the top where Lima Street is, and it turns in, and it's one way down, and then you go out. At that exit from that one-way street exit, it's very dangerous because a lot of cars are illegally parked to the left where when cars turn from Salt Lake Boulevard to Āliamanu-Salt, they come ripping down there. They go really fast. And he said, our manager told me there's been a couple of accidents, nothing really bad yet. But because the cars are parked there, they can't see. So they would like to have the curb painted red, especially on that one between the two parking lots. There's two exits or whatever where the cars come out for Tropicana Manor on Āliamanu-Salt. And they also would like a sign. I checked there before I came here today, and there's only one sign at that first parking lot. As soon as you turn right, there's a two-way in and out at the same time. There's a sign that says no parking, but then that's it. There's no sign on the side of that until you get to after two of the exits are done. Then there's a sign that says no parking end, kind of thing. So it's like right at the top where cars would park, there's no sign there. And the manager was told there's signs there. And the complaint from the residents is that they cannot see as they're going out, even when they put the signs, because there's a bus stop sign there, a huge sign, and it obstructs the view. So it's a very sensitive area for drivers to get in and out. So if someone can take a look at that. And also they were told he claimed they called you guys, and he was told, our resident manager, that you got to call. So he's called the police, but they've done nothing. So he's asked me to bring up the point. They want the thing painted red and maybe a small sign that says no parking, maybe tow away or whatever.
So it sounds like a traffic study.
Yeah.
They assess the area. Also ties on.
Oh, that crosswalk is more up the street. What makes it hard that at the intersection, the place where people get hit, is that a lot of times it's not that busy, okay? Yet when drivers go, I don't know what happens. They get the evil desires or something and they just start gassing it.
Summarize, Mr. Omar.
So it's like, and then the excuse is I can't see.
Those crosswalks are specific on this part. That's a good point. Yeah, we'll bring that to that.
Audience, any questions for the mayor's office? Thank you. Moving on to Councilmember Radiant Cordero's office. She's making an appearance herself. Before you get started, I have a question. Do you play pickleball?
I understand. And we've already been request about request. And the lights have been fixed 3 times. And I know that it's about $91,000. So, I mean, I've already used up a lot of that for a lot of my parks money for lights, basically.
Do they look into putting electrical higher so you won't get to, so the people cannot cut any wiring or anything? She'll find out though. Thank you.
Well, good evening, neighborhood board members, and colleagues. My name is Radiant Cordero. Your Honolulu City Council member for our area, and missed you last month, and so glad to be back again. And I do want to highlight a few things as you all talked about pedestrian safety, and different measures. I know that I just wanted to highlight two specific bills in my report, which will be going through the city council. First up is Bill 44, which is related to speed limits. So this bill targets speed limits first in school zone areas, so wherever there's a school. And I know that's, let's say, majority of the council seems to support it. I did, but actually, a resident who lives somewhere around here, in one of the AB housing, made a suggestion to me to see if we could, every time DPS does something, if they could consider, well, the speed humps, but I just put any possible traffic mitigation or speed mitigation measures as opposed, in addition to lowering the speed. So I was able to get that amendment passed in this bill as well. I also want to highlight the Bill 52, which is relating to e-bicycles. I know that the Department of Transportation Services, as well as the State Department of Transportation, has started an e-bike task force. They're hoping to wrap up in maybe a month or 2 months, because they really wanted to be able to get out recommendations for the session, for both the state legislature's session, but also, I guess, to the city council too, for their budget deliberations, our budget deliberations. So that's going to be going through the council. Now, I don't have it on this specific report, but I do want to note that Councilmember Okamoto also has a resolution to ask the state for further clarification on I guess what else they would want the counties to enforce regarding e-bikes. I've been in a lot of presentations in the past 2 weeks about how some e-bikes are not actually e-bikes, what we think are e-bikes. So those are discussions that I asked the HP officer who showed up at the council hearing yesterday, if that they could consider those considerations. Yeah. I do want to highlight that we have community concerns listed on page 3. I don't want to go too much into it because I do want to take your questions, but I do want to highlight and say thank you to the neighborhood board. Your initiative to rename the Howard Shima Lakia Street Mini Park is great. People do know about it, and I am going to be putting a request in for a second sign at the other side. So thank you very much.
Board, any questions for the councilman? Audience, any questions for the councilman? Oh, thank you.
I have to say that I know that it's not actual dedicated pickleball courts, but since 2021, State Representative Ichiyama has filtered different requests from our neighbors from Salt Lake to Kalihi for pickleball courts. And we don't have a dedicated pickleball court specifically in Kalihi, but we're making Mokoea Theme Park a dedicated pickleball court. But there are lines. I know that it's hard to share with tennis players, but just.
Thank you, Councilman. Moving on to the state, the Governor Green's office.
Diamond Tawas, Information and Community Relations Officer with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, here on behalf of Governor Josh Green's office. I have nothing to share that's pertinent to this community tonight, but happy to take questions. I also can pass along HFD's PIO information if anybody wanted to take it. So that contact would be HFD PIO #1. So numeral 1 at honolulu.gov. I know that question came up earlier today. But any other questions? I'm happy to relay them back to the governor's office.
Board, any questions for the governor's office? Audience, any questions for the governor's office? I have one.
Sure thing.
Can you find out through the governor's office if they can send a representative from the state sheriff's airport division?
Okay.
Been trying to contact them. It's a positive thing for the state sheriffs at the airport to come to our meetings. We have the police department and Pearl City Station and Khalid Station. So I
Mhm.
think it would be a positive thing for the community to hear what's going on at the airport since this neighborhood board has the jurisdiction of the airport.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have it noted. I'll bring that back to DLE.
Awesome. Thank
Yep.
you so much.
Thank you. Okay, aloha. Oh, go ahead.
Also, it's election time right now, and a lot of the states already got their mail-out ballots have been already mailed, and they were voting for like 1 to 2 weeks. And elections are right around the corner. So the question is, when are we mailing out our ballots? Because people are asking me.
Okay, sure thing.
When are they going
Oh,
to mail
I
it?
don't have the answer to that, but I can certainly ask the elections office.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Appreciate it.
Mahalo.
Senator Glenn Wakai's office. House Rep.
Board, Ashley for Senator Kai's office. Just a quick highlight, no, just want to mention that this afternoon we did tour, Radford, school. Just to keep you abreast, our senator and, Rep. Shyama's office were trying to push, U.S. Army Corps to accelerate their remediation effort. We are planning coming next week, department head and to see how we can fast track, I'm happy to take back.
Board, any questions for Senator Wakai?
I have classmates now that I forgot about this. Sorry. I have classmates that have talked to me about this. They want me to keep them informed as well as far as that Radford High School, Makalapa Elementary School, that waste thing, whatever, under the ground. And I already told them that you guys are working on it and stuff, but they're very, after what happened with the water incident, they don't trust anything with the military. And it's like, and when I really think about it, yeah, the answers I'm getting from as well is we're on it, we're on it, we're on it. But we're on it, don't count when, SHIT happens. So
Right, Senator shares the community's frustration, because that it's been an ongoing problem for quite some time. So he is, very adamant about seeing this. And you're more than welcome to have your, faculty contact our office, and we can always keep them abreast. Yeah.
Audience, any other questions for the Senator's office? To let the Senator know, we'll be putting on our next agenda for November 14th. That'll be one of the issues that will be on our agenda. Tonight, we have the Army Corps of Engineers spokesperson that'll be part of the Army report later on in our meeting. But thank you for coming on, Ashley.
Thank you.
Representative Linda Ichiyama. Representative, do you play pickleball?
Tried.
Okay. Sorry, out of luck. guys.
Successfully, but it's all fun. So I think it's good. Just to, Chair, Young's members of the neighborhood board, Chiama State Representative, just to quickly address Mr. Ramon's question. The deadline for voters to receive their ballots via the mail, the general election is Friday, no, sorry, October 18th. Friday, October 18th. And I believe Office of Elections is planning to mail them out next week. So you may receive it a little bit earlier than the 18th, but that is the deadline for already registered voters to receive it by then. If you want to register to vote after that deadline and request a mail-in ballot, you can still do that up to October 29th. Our community update had some pictures of events going on in our schools, from Makalapa Elementary Read Aloud to vision screening at Pearl Harbor Elementary with the Mono Lions. And Radford High School is also the recipient of a brand new $100,000 fitness center from the Governor's National Council on Fitness. So if anybody remembers Body by Jake, Jake came down and pumped up the Āliamanu Middle School Panthers. And there's a couple pictures of the students getting to use this new fitness equipment. It'll help them not just with strength, but also self-confidence. Question.
Board, any questions for the representative? Audience, any questions? Thank you. Representative Mike IU's office, anybody? Moving on to federal elected government officials, anybody from the federal government here? Move on, we have no presentations this evening. Let's get Aloha Stadium community updates.
Before the city representative leaves, could I just ask for one thing?
Sure.
Between Radiant and Brian, I know in our last meeting in August, we did ask for a representative from the Salt Lake Boulevard Road widening project. If a representative maybe could give us some updates for the community.
Contact me.
Can you? Yeah, okay.
They're expecting me.
Oh,
In that department.
well, no, that's why, it's like, that's a whole separate ball game, and I think it'll be really nice to have a, person to person as far as communication. Yeah, so tell them that we requested it. Back in August, we requested it. And yeah,
So DCC actually responded and said a representative from the project will be attending future meetings. So
Aloha Stadium.
Chair Yomes, members of the board, and members of the community. Chris Kidimaka on behalf of the Department of Accounting and General Services. I'm joined by Chris Sadayasu, the Deputy Stadium Manager and avid pickleball player. For the new Aloha Stadium.
You guys missed out. She and the governor is like this. You sure you guys want to leave?
For the new Stadium and District Volume Process, we had hoped to announce the results of our evaluation process. Instead, on September 27th, we announced that we're continuing our evaluation of Aloha Halawa District partners. So that's because the detailed nature of the project really requires us to dig in deep, get a vigorous and thorough review of the proposal that's conducted to ensure it's the best value of the state. So the NASED team did go back and ask for more additional information from Aloha Halawa District partners for us to get really good clarity on their proposal. So with that, our current efforts include more detailed discussions with their team on the project as a whole. Does still maintain our overall timeline, however, so that's the good news. We still look at if they get through as the prioritized offers or preferred offer, we would still be able to execute our contract by June of next year and keep the stadium on target for 2028 UHF fall season. So with that, we did have one outreach through our newsletter. We released it on October 1st. It's all of this information. And I'll go ahead and let Chris now share what's going on with events in the stadium.
Before Chris starts, what's the questions that you guys sent back to them? Is there a deadline for them to answer these so you guys can move on?
Yes, there is. And what we asked for was really digging into their financial details, some of the legal documents that we have to execute. We're working hand in hand, our legal and their legal. We're looking at things like the lease language and how revenues are handled, or how we're going to manage the stadium. So it's a lot of information. We want to dig that down, simplify that as well. So how are they going to handle zoning, permitting process? We're making really good headway. We're meeting with them much every day of the week. The target is we want to make a spectacular announcement by Halloween.
That's spooky.
Yeah, be a good one.
Thanks, Chris. So aloha board members. So Chris Sadayasu with the Stadium Authority. So we had the Mega Bond in August. That was really popular, about 15,000 attendees. And then earlier this past Saturday, we had the October Spectacular Night Marketing Car Show at about 15 attendees or so. And then other events are our 45th anniversary fall festival with Swap Meet. That's going to be Sunday, October 27th, all day, 9 to 2 p.m. Have a food court, music, and some face painting and the like. Also, have display for opportunities as well. So, and then we also have the Major Rager concert on Friday, November 15th, and Little Wayne Saturday, November 16th. So check that out, all of our website, and thank you.
Yeah, as we move on with this Aloha Stadium project, what's the effect on the swap meet?
Shouldn't have any effect on swap meet. There'll be a new location for it. It will be around the Aloha Stadium, subject to demolition. I will still have it on.
Thank you. Board, any other questions for Aloha Stadium? Audience, any questions for Aloha Stadium? Thank you. Anybody from the schools this evening? Military? Army? Navy? Air Force? Marines? No, I think the Navy should go first because the Army, we have a lot of stuff with the Army.
Chair Young's and just a couple of things I'd like to talk about before. Just got some things to add. The Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam got a whole bunch of volunteers, and we're partnering with city and county to do the scored Pearl Harbor Light Path. It's coming up out in Saturday. Yeah. Last time the work in city and county on cleaning up the refuse and things on the light path. They were able to haul out 2.7 refuse. Probably have something similar to that again. And also, I don't know how many volunteers we're going to have. We're definitely going to have some volunteers. And I'll let you know how many sailors in there at the stadium. Just a couple of things I'd like to talk about for people who are interested in what's going on. Red Hill, the latest on it. It's now a podcast. It's called It's Talking Red Hill. You know, its latest updates can be found on the Red Hill. Available on the page with the task force, as well as on the mobile app. Website. Also wanted to talk about groundwater monitoring. Well, this week, a total of another 2 monitoring wells actually built since 2021. Now that means that there's a total of 40 groundwater monitoring wells, and the Navy Closure Task Force is scheduled to hold groundwater flow model information webinar by 16. Details also that
My brother, Victor Flint, Naval Facilities. This is a hot issue. S2 water tank project, demo is pulp. And building of the foundation is ongoing. When that's finished, they're going to start with the actual concrete water tank construction. So that would involve, well, first off, they're looking at the week of November 18th. So that'll be from the 18th to the 22nd, but I don't know the specific date yet. And that's going to involve 800 yards of concrete being poured for the tank floor. And that'll take approximately 4 hours. We would like to get started with pouring at about 4 a.m. So the Triton Marine team is going to be passing out advisories advisory flyers to everyone in that neighborhood to let them know what's going on. And this would include all the info involved with with the project, as well as the point of contact. That'd be Joel Nelson. And you guys have that number, and that would be in the flyer as well. And so if there's any questions, problems, comments, concerns, don't stall, call Joel. So with that being said, one just real quick, the hurricanes are big on the news now. The Navy's involved. Curex drills, hurricane season is June through November, so almost fall. And the Navy's prepared and ready for any heavy weather event. So if we get the call for help, we'll definitely be there. Until then, we pray for the best and we prep for the worst. That's all I have. Are there any questions for myself or
Board, any questions? Navy? Audience, questions for the Navy?
I guess I mentioned this earlier about the Radford High School Makalapa thing because my classmates now are, I am a Radford High School graduate, 1974. So the guys in 73, 74, 75, 76, a lot of them are concerned because we've had a lot of debts over the decades.
We're covering that with the Army. It's not the Navy right now.
Oh, yeah?
but,
Oh, okay.
We'll be covering that with the Army Corps of Engineers, so.
I'll save that question.
Audience, anything with the Navy? I just say, I stayed on top of that project, next to Foster Village. We did a good job, they continue to do a good job. And I know the time is early, but we need to get this done for the community, so, if you can give us an update on our November 14 meeting, I think they're gonna pour it in the week after that, possibly. Or you can send it to me and I can send it out.
Mr. Chair? And I did blessing. Joel would like to come out from the November 14th meeting himself, so he can.
Okay, awesome. That'll be good. Thank you. Hey, we have the Marines next. Oh, the Army, you're up.
Board. First, I just wanted to share some input from Member Amura's comment about the intersection. I really feel very passionate about this as well. It's personally affected our circle of friends. I have a dear friend who actually I met at this board, and her mother is a widow. And while she was grieving her husband, she's almost 70 years old. She went to cross at the intersection. She's very careful. She made sure it was the right time to go. And a car flew around the corner and gave her a compound fracture in her arm. She's healing from that. So looking forward to some solutions as well. So I just had a couple of updates, and then I want to introduce the Corps of Engineers that are here to share some info with you. Two upcoming here is back, and it has two dates, October 20th and October 30th. It's up at Scopeville. One is November 19th, AMR with the Modern Military just near here at the gym from 8:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. Open to the public. That job and jobs in general. www.HIMWR, which stands for Hawaii Military Morale Recreation, HIMR.com. So those are just new job fairs. And without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Jay Wood to join me up. I'll let him take the call. He and his team are from the board, and then had to take on jail
120 days for Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm the public affairs officer. And then right after Christmas, I head back home to the cold. But luckily, the family's been here off and on while I'm here. I have with me Lisa Scott, Chief Edlund, and Rich Tanaka, who's our buds, formerly used defense site.
Navy salvage yard. We do. I would like to say too is, I know this is just a number. And we are currently, we had done a remedial investigation in 2021. We partnered with Department of Health and they reviewed it. They had some comments and concerns. Based on that, we decided to do some additional sampling. That additional sampling occurred earlier this year in March with coordination with the Department of Education in order for us to, we did during spring break, so we would impact students and teachers and what was going on. That was actually to an updated draft remedial investigation. And now our Center of Expertise is reviewing that document right now. One of the most things is that we're tentative that Department of Health, after we get all anything that we have from our expertise, to get it to the health review. And so that's what we're planning to do is we're looking at December of this year. I also want to note too that we're looking at having a public meeting in the spring of 2025. So I'm going to open it up to everyone. Just keep look for that. I would invite everyone to attend. That'll give us a really good opportunity to look at what has done in the past, where we're at, and what we're planning to do. Also, I'd like to say we will continue our work with DOE. We actually had a meeting to deal with DOE just about the project. One thing I probably should step back. The remedial investigation that we're currently working at, we're looking at remedial hazardous waste. Basically, HTRW is hazard waste, and so you'll hear that term. And that's what our remedial investigation is focused on. But we'll continue working with HTOH2, especially when their comments come back and after they review it, the document. I also would like to say that have the business cards. Please look at have questions that'll be up to date school and that we that will give you some more information and how and where to contact. So I have.
Or do you have any questions? Still more? Yeah, I'm just curious. Okay, it's from ignorance on my part, but how the Army get involved in it, being totally responsible for all this when this is Navy land?
That's a very good question. So what normally these defense science are based any project, I guess on any there's a law that passed October of 1986. Any lands that were formerly used defense sites like Navy, Army, the Marines, and any of those I guess you say properties that either they owned, leased, or managed at one point. It was turned over back to the public for that October of 1986. Then it was up the responsibility of Department of Defense to investigate, clean up everything. Well, DOD put it as a mission for the Army Corps of Engineers to take over those properties and investigate those and put them in the fence program. So anything after that date, then it's the responsibility. So if, for example, if that was still in the Navy's hands, they would be taking care of the investigation and cleanup and anything that needs to be done. And so it's just our mission now there for any former properties, things like that.
So you folks are working just on Radford and the Navy has Makalapa? I don't understand.
Separate, yeah, that was kind of like, I think under the superintendent program. So it must be the system there. I can't speak for them, so I don't.
I know they built the school later, that's why Makalapa came much later. And Radford was back in 1960, they opened.
I was looking at some aerial imagery from the past, and it looked like the high school was built around 1957, 56. There was a lot of buildings and some maps. So it was kind of interesting to look at the aerial imagery right there. So
Might have been a school that they changed around.
Anybody else on the board has questions? James?
Oh, thank you. I was wondering if there's any access to records of what exactly was dumped on, what was the site used for, what types of, is there any like logs or records of back then for public access?
get back to you on that, but I know when they did the preliminary assessment in 2016, they went and did an extensive search of any information they have on the site. Did that include any records that had historical information that what the system done, what was on the site? One thing I did note when I was doing some research myself is that the salvage yards was collecting a lot of metal during that time. So they would like segregate it, like, oh, here's the brass, here's the like cast iron. They would also do aluminum or something. And then there was records of them actually packaging them up and taking them off site. I think during World War II, a lot of they're talking about collecting metal for the war effort, you know, build planes and ships and things like that. So I think that's what was probably happening there because it was basically doing a lot of recycle at that time. I also heard from their investigation, they also talked about bringing in, it was basically the garbage that was around the site, any garbage that was, you know, around Pearl Harbor in that area and bringing that in. And then they're also segregating that for basically what's combustible and not combustible. So, and of course, the things that were combustible, they would burn. So there were some sites in that area that would, they would burn up, you know, for basically dispose of it. And then there's some that they weren't combustible, so they would probably be solid waste. So it's kind of a mixed bag in that area.
Board, anybody else? Questions? Audience, any questions?
Hello there, Ms. Godfrey. What it is that, like, say, we will definitely get back in touch with, let's say, you and the board on this about, like, say, documents that are available to the public. But yes, a preliminary assessment, which is a part of, like, say, one of the many steps within, like, the CERCLA process was complete. So yes, I will definitely check up on that for you and also access to that.
At our next meeting on November 14th, this will be on the agenda as far as this topic. I hope you guys can return at that time and next month's meeting, November 14th, same place, same venue. We'll hear from state officials and hopefully the school will come out as well. I think it's something that the community needs to have answers for, and it's on Olelo TV for the month. So this will be a good way to start the process as to what's going to happen. And I have so many questions regarding the process as far as how, when you do actually do the cleanup, doing a piecemeal type of deal, how that would endanger the children, all kinds of different questions that I have. And I'll wait till next month to address them.
Question.
Mr. Moore for the 50th time.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you folks are planning to do like a sociological study on the effects of people that may have been affected, because we've had a few deaths that seem at that time seemed to come a little bit earlier than expected. Like our football coach, Mr. Velasco, died early, you know, and so did coaches and players that hanged around that area, especially the football players, because they're literally playing on the dirt over there. So, you know, I was wondering if you folks are planning to do any kind of sociological type studies on that to see if there was any kind of impact. But I don't know if that's even been thought of at this point.
What we call speculation. Āliamanu?
Oh, sorry. Any net, we're looking for the remedial investigation. We're basically looking at the nature and extent of any contamination. Based on that information, we have a risk assessor. They do a health risk and they look at the concentrations if it's there. And based on, I'm not a risk assessor and that makes, we can talk about later, or get back with you on, is they do an analysis and calculations of risk to human health. And that kind of probably might associate with what you're speaking of. But we do have findings. So that's part of our remediation. So that would probably answer.
You did mention that you're going to be having some kind of presentation with the Department of Health and DOE. Is that in December? Was there? Or is it a group or, I mean, are open to, or is it 2025?
Oh, yes. So what we have is that we're planning, first of all, we're striving to provide a draft remedial investigation report to the Hawaii Department of Health in December of 2024. That's one of the things that we're striving for.
Will it be a public, open to the public?
What it is in spring of 2025. Yes, we are planning a public meeting, so we'll definitely invite, like the public, will invite board and all cases. Yes.
In the remedial investigation that we're providing for the Department of Health for their review and comments. So that's kind of.
I'm a little concerned about Department of Health because I've been after the Department of Health for water situations and they're very restrictive. They have barriers about sharing information. So, you know, I feel that, you know, this is a good time to just open up the can of worms and really have them exposed to what is going on because they haven't maintained it. Yeah, because AMR was exposed also at one point and Department of Health was involved. So this is another issue, but, you know, anything to do with the military at this point, it has been a little hazardous, to say the least. Yeah, but anyway, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. And one thing which has been very helpful for us, go and look on the website and check out there and see if that can help answering questions you might have and get back with us too. So that helps us to do details on the website. We appreciate that.
Can you, I don't know if you know the answer to this, Bradford High School, next to the high school, there's two other schools. Was that years ago in the 50s or was that part of the Navy's, the salvage yard that they used for munitions there? Was their land also part of this salvage yard?
What it is that I believe we can have some, let's say, some maps within, let's say, like some political assessment and like say any other sort of documentation that can show like the boundary of like say the former salvage yard and like say is where the schools are right now. So that might be able to answer your question, sir.
Thank you for coming out. Appreciate you folks coming out and hopefully you guys can attend our November 14 meeting. Audience, any questions regarding this situation? Hearing none, thank you so much. Board of Water Supply? Take care of their water leak outside. Okay, moving on to board action, in A, Salt Lake Boulevard, speed hump crosswalks fronting 5 schools in both directions. curb to curb traffic safety initiative that came up from some concerned community members in the Foster Village area. And unfortunately, Mr. Baird couldn't make the meeting this evening. He had some concerns as well. We're trying to see if the 5 schools on Salt Lake Boulevard, if we could put raised speed hump crosswalks right next to the schools. The intersections are spelled out. Makalapa Elementary will be right in front of their school in the beginning. Radford High School, the same thing, right in front of their school. I'm going to recommend it each time that how the community wishes to have this or not. So this is going to be tabled to our next meeting on November 14, where we'll see if a resolution can be done, and if the community really has a say in this, yay or nay. Hopefully they attend the November 14 meeting. Our plan is to see if those raised crosswalks can help the children cross without getting struck by vehicles. Āliamanu Middle School, right next to the Salt Lake Shopping Center, a crosswalk at Salt Lake Boulevard, a la Lilipoy Street would be one of the target crosswalks that we're looking at. And just past that, Salt Lake Boulevard, Arizona Road, that particular crosswalk that goes to the elementary school, Āliamanu Elementary School, and the Salt Lake Library, targeting that crosswalk. And the last one, Moanalo High School at Alanapunani Street, that crosswalk. We're kind of looking at raised crosswalks with neon lighting that being used around the mainland and pedexing signs, and those green and black neon signs, just to light up the neighborhood. And Salt Lake Boulevard would be a good test case because we're getting the extension of Salt Lake Boulevard done. And we can see if this will work, but it's all depending on community support. And if the community really wants that, I think is a good idea to slow the cars down, because everybody is just speeding so much on Salt Lake Boulevard. You get these mopeds going in and out of traffic on Salt Lake Boulevard, and it's creating a nuisance. And that's how this whole thing started, was in the area of Radford High School and Makalapa School, because of the speeding there and the complaints we received from people living in Foster Village. I added on, since we're doing Salt Lake Boulevard, if we're going to do a resolution regarding that to the city, I added on the other schools because it just made sense. We have 5 schools along Salt Lake Boulevard. If we're going to do a traffic safety measure, I would recommend that we do all 5 schools. So I'm going to table this discussion to the next meeting, and we'll have a resolution. Mr. Baird will give his Manal whatever he came up with as far as the people living in Foster Village that he spoke to, and we'll address that. So board members, keep in mind, get your thoughts together, talk to your constituents, see how they feel about this. Yea or nay, they can come to our November 14th meeting to speak their piece. Let's move along in section B, board action. Pualo Road, the widening project from Mokumoa Street to Kilihawa Street. 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, connecting existing lanes. Be familiar with Pualo Road. That's right after Salt Lake Boulevard. You make the right or left turn, that's Pualo Road. If you head into the Mackay direction on Pualo Road, you run into Wendy's Drive-In, Harley Davidson. So everybody gets a picture of where we're talking about. So from 2 lanes from Pualo at Salt Lake, it goes into 1 lane right at Mokumoa Street. From Mokumoa Street to Kilihawa Street, right by Wendy's Drive-In, and it opens up to 2 lanes again. Similar to what we had on Salt Lake Boulevard. 2 lanes down to 1 lane and 2 lanes again. If you guys see the traffic in the morning on Pualo Road, it backs up during peak hour traffic. Also in the afternoon traffic, it backs up. So I'm looking down the road that, you know what, we need to widen this road into 2 lanes in each direction. We can put a bike lane in both directions as well. There's enough space. The state I believe the state made 91 parking stalls on Pool Road, on the ever side of Pool Road. 91 parking stalls. In the evening, nobody parks there. Unless they're doing something, they're in the car, whatever they do nighttime, but maybe 1 to 3 cars in the evening. In the afternoon, there's about 25 to 30 cars parked there. Most of them were employees from the, not the GP roadway systems. They park there, and then they walk across the street. A lot of them don't even use the parking spaces. They want the shade, so they park along the trees. I would say illegally, but not. They're just parking on the embankment so they have shade for their vehicles. So I'm going to ask the state the permission of the board. I'm kind of feeling that this is necessary, looking down the road, that we need to extend Pool Road. And like I said, there's 91 stalls is not being utilized. Nighttime, that company that usually utilizes the stalls, they park on Mapunapuna Street and Avaloa Street in the Mapunapuna community because they can come to the back door and it's a safer and shorter route for them to park there. With that said, I'm going to move for resolution at the next meeting as well, encouraging the state to see if they can extend this two-way roadway in both directions so traffic wouldn't be backed up. And like I said, those 91 stalls are not being filled. It's not being utilized, and it's not necessary in that area. They really want to put parking stalls. They can put parking on the the ever side of Pool Road in that parking lot to run parallel as far as in the Makai-Mauka direction. It fit about 20 stalls there if necessary, but they still will have room to have 2 lanes in each direction and also a bike lane in each direction. So that would be what we're going to be doing in the next meeting regarding Pool Road. Board, any questions? I see a hand raising up in there, but any? James, you had something?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I was wondering, we could entertain the idea of the board members reaching out to each of the schools for Board Action 10A, reaching out to Makalapa, Radford, Āliamanu, so that they could give their input at the next meeting regarding the raised speed humps. Maybe Godfrey could take the lead, seeing as the education school's assignment, and maybe he could, be.
Yeah, I'm already in contact with the schools. That's A. We're on B. Anything on Pool Road you have, James?
No, thank you, Chair.
Anything on Pool Road? Audience, sir, can you come up to the microphone, please?
Galen Wong again, Ramina Transportation Highways. So I took your notes regarding sheriff spot, so I'm going to email Ford, Uchikami, and Tamili regarding getting a representative to come to these meetings for their sheriff report on the airports. As far as the school stuff, that's the Safe Routes to School project, and I'll contact Tara Lucas. She's in charge of these all these Safe Routes to School projects, because they have 20 million funding that they use for all these Safe Routes to School. But now we're running into problems where you got to watch out when you put these race, if there's houses nearby and then big trucks and vehicles they go, it doesn't slow them down as much as you think it would, but then causes a lot of the vibration. So if you have houses near the speed bumps area, it might affect some of those houses, their foundation and stuff like that. And then I'll also contact the Pool Lord. Ed wants to remove those parking stalls and use it for those improvements. And also maybe last time I came about maybe also doing homeless camping in that area. I'm not sure what's going on with that. That's what I came last time. 6 months ago.
They're already camping on the hill, so they have some police up on the hill to stay. But, as far as, the vibration, I saw the report on the news, the wind outside, but he claiming that this happened.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'll contact all those people.
Oh, you didn't contact the schools because the schools.
No, I'll
I'm
contact.
just getting their, opinion as to how they feel about having a raised crosswalk in front of a school. It's a city issue, so Salt Lake Boulevard, so just trying to, protect the children that's going to these schools.
Yeah, the funds come from.
And it's not a done deal, that's why we're putting it out to the public. And our next meeting, we'll see what happens at our next
Yeah,
meeting.
so I'll inform Tara about what you guys are concerned about having that those. See, they work with the city and they give them the money, the funds for those projects. The state gives, yeah, we have the legislature provided 20 million to the Safe Route to School. 10 million in this session, and another 10 million last session. Plus they also have money in their regular account that they use for the Safe Route to School projects. There's a lot of money for this type of projects, and then it comes to the state and it goes to the city. They give it to the city to the improvements and stuff like that. I'll inform Tara and let them know that she should, if she can come or not, or city.
So the Pulo Road is your statement this evening that they want to do homeless projects?
No,
on
that
Pulo
was one of
Road?
the projected. Prove it that they wanted to do, but I'm not sure what happened after that meeting. I informed the person, June, about that thing that they were thinking of doing. There's a lot of stuff that would have to go on into as far as you have to put in electricity, water, and all that kind of other stuff that would have to be considered if they would do something like that. If they decide to do something like that, they would have to come to the community first and let you know that they are going to do it. But at the same time, Ed wants to remove a lot of those parking stalls and widen the lower road.
Because it doesn't make sense where you get 2 lanes and all of a sudden you're down to
Right.
1 lane.
Drive on those.
And it's exactly what happened on Salt Lake Boulevard.
Right.
And for years, we dealt with that. So same thing is going to happen on Polo Road. As we get into years later, traffic is going to get worse. And we're going to need 2 lanes in each direction.
Right.
It's a short from Mokomo Street to Kili House Street. It's a short distance. And both directions needs 2 lanes.
Yeah, when they did that section improvement, when they, made the new road, paved the new road, because people are complaining, all the businesses are coming up, they're losing their parking. So I think they ended up putting that parking structure. But I think now that they know that it's not worth it and it's, can be better utilized, I think Ed wants to eliminate or use a lot of it and just reduce it down to a small amount and then create the 2 lanes each way. Yeah, and also do the bike lanes.
Mr. Sniffen has done a good job for our community and really kudos out to him. He helped us in a few projects throughout the years. I've been on his board over 20 years, so Mr. Sniffen helped us in a number of projects, but I hope you'll come to this board as far as before they start doing this homeless project
Right.
along Pulo Road because we badly needs these extra lanes on Pulo Road.
Yeah, I'll inform is the project right now on Pulo? I'll contact that project manager, Albert Chun. Let them know that they know about when they might do with that.
Well, the only reason that somebody didn't do their homework when they made these parking stalls, because the only reason Mapuna Puna is full is because of those auto body shops in Mapuna Puna that throws all their vehicles. You can see at nighttime, all the businesses are closed. But how come all the roads are full? Same principle is because they allow these auto body shops and all these people working nighttime to throw all of their cars on the road. And the business community, their workers have no place to park.
Yeah, that's what they did. I think the people that was gonna use those parking stalls at the old road before they got repaid. That's why they put those money to install on that side. But I think now that they're realizing it's not well utilized and he didn't like them, now he doesn't feel that it's necessary.
Well, Mapunapuna is a problem, and I did my part. I called and made sure that some of these cars get towed away because they shouldn't be on the road at all. They all expired and everything. So the police did tow those cars away. But the board, any other questions? State, audience, any other questions? State, thank you for coming. Okay, let's move on to approval of minutes, August 8th, regular meeting minutes. Any changes? Your minutes on August, board? Hearing none? As written. Announcements, the next Āliamanu-Salt Lake Foster Village Airport Neighborhood Board 18 regular meeting will be held Thursday, November 14th, 6:30 p.m. at this venue, National Guard Association, 891 Vulcanberg Street. These meetings are videotaped and aired on Olelo Channel 49 on the fourth Saturday of the month at 9 p.m. and the second and fourth Friday of the month at 7 a.m. On board, anybody have any reports as far as their community assignments? Secretary Kanewaro?
Yes, I'd like to make one announcement. This is going to be for the household hazardous waste, HHW as they call it, disposal on Oahu. And these are, let's see, it's a drop-off event and it's held bi-monthly on Saturdays, normally from 9 to 11:45. And this is basically for residential waste and it's by appointment only. But the next drop-off events is going to be on November 2nd, which is a Saturday, and January 2024, and Saturday, January 11th, 2025. For more information and to make your appointment, it's the number to call, 808-768-3201. And so they do have, this is from the ENV, from the Honolulu.gov, Opala.
Chair Jones, I just wanted to clarify, before we go past that, contacting the schools, did I hear you say I don't need to do that?
Ms. Godfrey, was that?
The crosswalks at the schools,
Yes, what about it?
do you need me to contact the schools?
No, I'm in contact.
Thank you.
Board, anything else you want to add before we end this meeting?
Stormwater.
Secretary Kanewaro?
I've been assigned to the Stormwater Wastewater Advisory Committee for the city, and I've been going to meetings from earlier this year. And what we're working on with the Stormwater Wastewater, Advisory Board is that we're trying to establish there's going to be some fees that are going to be put onto all of the constituents. And this is because of the necessary upkeep for our environmental waste disposal. And so what they're doing is they're building, in fact, they have an addendum, I forgot what it was called, some kind of, anyway, they have a federal thing that says that they have to improve the environmental waste part of it, and also the stormwater. What we're trying to do is for all the impervious areas of your homes or your, businesses, they will be charging according to the amount of space, square footage that you have. But anyway, there's a whole study on it right now, and we are working on developing application forms for those who are in need of maybe some assistance also. So we're working on all of this. There is some consultants that are here from the mainland that are helping to work this whole project through, but the city is looking at stormwater and wastewater to separate it from the wastewater, especially to separate that from the Board of Water Supply. So anyway, just an update that in the future for 2025, there will be a rollout of this new program.
Mr. Moore? Thank you, everyone, for coming to this evening. This evening, thank you for attending. This meeting is adjourned.
document that, it is right on our website. Yeah. It is on the website. I got it. It's right on our website. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So big,